I'm doing well. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
It sounds like you have a very well thought out plan for what happens tomorrow, but are also communicating we may not have the bandwidth to do this in the future because of capacity. Does the border need to close to stop people from coming?
Well, I've been, very clear on the points based on my observations from going to El Paso to my observation of going down to the Darien Gap. What needs to be done is we need a resolution at the border. And our national leaders must come up with that resolution. And while they're doing so, you cannot displace the financial responsibility onto the cities. And that includes Brownsville, El Paso, Denver, New York, Chicago, Boston. We have a responsibility to make sure that we can not only take care of long-term residents of our cities, but also treat those who arrive here in a humane way. This is bad for the migrants and asylum seekers, and it's bad for the city. And so how they resolve that is coming up with real immigration reform and allocating in the budget the financial needs that these cities need and having a decompression strategy to address this issue. And so I think that the White House and Congress, they must get together and realize that this is impacting America's largest cities.
Hi, Mayor Adams, and whoever can provide this information, is there data? I know you said it's 40 families leaving tomorrow, but we've reported that it's 250 families staying there right now. So do you have broad data on how many families are set to have their 60-day notices expire per day and per week? And does City Hall have any data on how many families have already moved out ahead of the deadline versus family who will have to reapply?
We can get back to you with some of the specific data points, but just to make a couple of points from your good question there. So I think one of the ways that I look at it is that since the crisis began, we in New York City have helped more than 164,000 people. They've entered our shelter system, and as the mayor said, nearly 60% of them, with our help, have been able to leave the shelter system, taking the next step forward in their journeys. And this year, it's important to me because I talk to them as they're leaving. Each one has their own story, and each one of those 60% is going to celebrate their birthday in their new apartment or in the safety and security of being with friends and family this year that they haven't had or they haven't been able to experience for years. So the reason I'm very confident in our case management strategy is I don't know if I don't think about it in terms of will it work. I think about it in terms of it's already worked for the tens of thousands of people that have left our system with our help. We're applying all of those same principles that we've learned the 80,000 times since we've been doing this successfully to the families with children as we've been giving them notices at the Row Hotel. So when I say we've had more than 4 meetings with each family with children that are going to be checking out tomorrow, it's not 4 meetings where we're sort of feeling out exactly what we should be talking about, things like that. It's 4 meetings drawing from everything that we've done successfully for the tens of thousands of people that with our help have been able to start a better life in our country.
Katie, what we'll do, like we always do, is we do a policy and then we'll come back in a couple of weeks and let you know what we're finding and what we're learning, and then we'll make adjustments as we need to. But we will come back and share more data with you.
And Katie, hold on, because what Dr. Long said is very important. People have analyzed what we have done. While national leaders have commended us, people have toured our sites and locations. They have commended the level of humanitarian actions we showed. We put in place a 30-day plan for single adults, so now we're doing it for the children and families, the 60-day for children and families. And as Dr. Long stated, close to 70% of the people that came in, we've stabilized. We are able to accomplish that without children and families sleeping on the street. And so the track record of the success of taking this national humanitarian crisis and not having people sleep on the streets and not having children and families on the street, but doing it in a way that we are stabilizing almost 70%, is clearly the track record shows that we have taken a crisis and thoughtfully thought through it. And that is what, I think is missing in this entire conversation. There's nothing by our actions that has ever indicated that we were going to put individuals in harm's way. There's no action in over a year that displayed that. There's nothing we've ever done that created an environment that we were going to destabilize families. Thank you, Fabian. It was close to 60%, but close to 60%. And just when you look at the track record, you have to say to yourself, we have created a model that the national government should be following. We lived up to what is expected of New Yorkers, being humane and stabilizing children and families. And again, if we could just close the front door, we could get through this, but we can't close the front door.
One other thing I just want to flag is that Ted was talking about 164,000. Because we're doing this a day early, we don't have the last week's numbers yet, so that's as of 2 weeks ago, as of December 31st, the 164. So we'll have new numbers tomorrow for anyone who asks.